Good morning, Bodega Tribe, and happy September 1st. I can't believe summer's pretty much over at this point. So I hope you guys have had a great week so far and you're starting to enjoy the cooler mornings. And thank you for watching this video. Please, as we go along, feel free to ask questions so I can get back to you. And I hope that you enjoyed this topic. I really wanted to go over this topic of depression and intrusive thoughts because I, since probably 6th or 7th grade, have struggled with this myself. So I've been in and out of these bouts, especially after I had a couple of my children. I have 2 girls, so I've had times of depression again as being an adult, after postpartum depression as well. So when it comes to postpartum depression, there is a lot of hormones. It's pretty typical that women are going to go through postpartum depression. So if you are in that state, you know, your life's changing dramatically and you have these crazy hormones going on. So I do want to mention that that type of depression is a little bit different than the overall depression and intrusive thoughts that I'm going to talk about at this moment. So I want to help you guys start to move out of depression and away from intrusive thoughts. And so I've come upon a lot of different aspects that I have personally implemented to help me through these times, and I want to share those with you. But first of all, I want to kind of start out with what is depression. And I feel like depression is just an overwhelming feeling. It can be of sadness, it can be of grief, it can be of anger, it can be of just lack of faith in what, you know, basically a dark hole. You just feel like you're in a really dark hole. You don't feel like doing anything. You're overwhelmed with emotions. You're sad. You don't want to get out of bed. You know, you just don't want to do anything anymore. You don't want to hang out with anybody. You know, that's depression. You're emotionally just, your emotions are impacting your way of life. Okay, so that's the simplest form that I can give you. You know, you might have intrusive thoughts with this, where you have very negative thoughts, thoughts that you don't even know where they came from, and you're ashamed to be having these thoughts. You know, a lot of people suffer with these things. So I would say that that's depression. Okay, so long term, I do want to mention that long term, these depression thoughts can start to create a neurological change in your brain. Okay, so the more that you feed the depression, feed the intrusive thoughts, the negative thoughts, the more that it can start to reprogram your mind. So you're actually doing this more often. So keep that aware that the longer that you spend time in this depression, and the more that you entertain these intrusive thoughts or negative thoughts, the more it can perpetuate the problem. Okay, and which creates a deeper hole of depression. Okay, so keep that in mind as I go through these things. So how can we start to change depression? Like, let's just say that you're very sad, you have a lot of grief, a lot of regrets, a lot of shame, whatever it may be. Okay, and you're just really struggling to get out of bed. You're really struggling to have any kind of motivation in your daily life, to feel happy, to feel uplifted. Okay, so the first thing that I do want you to do is to face yourself. Okay, stop distracting yourself. Stop putting a phone in front of your face, especially if it's social media, especially Instagram. I feel like Instagram perpetuates this problem of depression because we see all these highlights of people's lives. Especially when it comes to like traveling, you know, they're getting to experience these new things that maybe you're not doing right now. They look like they have these great relationships without any problems. And so social media is definitely a thing that is going to perpetuate this problem of depression. Okay, so first of all, you need to face yourself. You need to remove the distractions. Stop watching TV. Stop, especially trash TV. Like, if you're just watching TV that's feeding yourself more negativity, more problems, like this person's going through this problem and you kind of associate with it, but then there's no like how to get out of this in this show, you know, then it's not really helping you move past these traumas, these problems that you're currently facing, right? You're just distracting yourself. Stop perpetuating the problem by eating junk food and compacting the problem. We don't feel good when we eat junk food after we've eaten it. Like, we might feel good in the moment, but we are perpetuating the problem. Not only are we going to feel bad about eating large amounts of junk food, but we're also going to feel bad physically. You know, it's going to make us sick. And it's attached to our gut bacteria, which is directly attached to our mind. I know personally, if I eat a lot of sugary foods, I the next day automatically feel more emotional, because it just impacts our blood sugar and our hormones and all kinds of things. So you need to keep in mind that what you are eating does impact your emotional state and can perpetuate the problems. And then obviously you just don't feel good about it. So don't compact the issue by feeding yourself junk food and just not taking care of yourself. Find something to look forward to for the day. Something small. Like mine for one part of my depression was I looked forward to a cup of coffee in the morning. That was literally the only thing that got me out of bed. So, and this was postpartum, by the way. So find something that makes you want to get out of bed. Like, okay, you know, at least I have coffee in the morning, even if I'm, you know, sad and I don't feel like I have any help or whatever it may be. At least you can look forward to one thing, okay? And that'll get you going. So find something to look forward to. Don't keep compacting the problem as well with like drugs and pharmaceuticals and alcohol. You know, don't continually entertain the intrusive thoughts. The way to shift out of that is like when you see it. This is why meditation can be so imperative to helping yourself heal, is because if you can learn to hear a thought in your mind and then like look at it and be like, okay, like that's not really me, that's not really who I am, and then shift from it, let it go, just let it go, like, oh, I heard it, okay, cool, like it's gone, and move into something else. Like, don't entertain the intrusive thoughts, okay? Stop entertaining negative thoughts as well. Just anything negative, just start to let these things go and shift your mind elsewhere. For an example, like if you're really depressed, and this leads to internal anger, because that can definitely do that, especially if this stems from some sort of trauma, past trauma, okay? And so you have internal anger as well. You can start to practice getting rid of internal anger by just daily things. So let's just use road rage as an example, because I feel like this is something everyone can kind of relate to, right? So you're in traffic and you're just irritated on how everyone's driving. So what you can do is just, whoever this person is, let's just say that they're going too fast and they just cut in front of you. Instead of being angry at that person, try to step into their shoes, right? Try to have some empathy for them. So this removes it from yourself of internal anger, and removes it also from the person that may be causing you or triggered you into that internal anger. And you're going to say, you know what, maybe he's having a bad day. Maybe he's having a bad day. Maybe he's in a hurry. Maybe something happened and he's in a hurry, you know, and try to put yourself in their shoes so you can remove that, that negative feeling from yourself and try to reflect and just see the other person's life and position. Okay, so that's a daily practice that you can take in every situation and start to remove the internal thoughts from yourself and try to let them go in a way. Another thing is stop associating with people that compact the problems. Okay, so I'm just going to use a past example of myself. When I was literally digging myself a hole into hell, because that's what was happening, I was associating with people that were compacting the problem. Okay, people that were doing things around me that I should not be doing, that were very negative, that were very hateful people, that were, you know, doing drugs. I mean, they were just overall not good people. I understand their story. I know why they are where they are in their life, why they're behaving the way that they were, and I have empathy and compassion for them. I understand where they are at, okay? And part of me wanted to help them out of that, which is why I was there. listen, you can't help people out of situations that they are going to be stuck in and they don't want help. Okay, I want to start there. And that's something I had to learn. But also, you as a person, if you want to change away from where you are, you have to leave the people that are compacting the problem. You cannot stay in those situations. If they're not willing to change, if they're not willing to take active steps to move with you out of the situation that you're in, you have to remove yourself from the situation. You cannot hang out with those people, especially if they're empathizing with you in a way to perpetuate. So let's just say you guys are both doing drugs, okay? You're addicted to painkillers. I don't know. I'm just making something up here. And you know, that person is like, yeah, but, you know, they're just perpetuating it. They're not really trying to help you and that person move away from this issue, okay? They're just like, yeah, well, but this happened to you and you really need it, you know? You don't need pharmaceuticals, you don't need drugs, you don't need alcohol in order to get away from these issues that you're having internally. What you need is you need to start reprogramming your neurological pathways. You need to do this by starting to take care of yourself. You need to eat better. You need to have goals. You need to start serving people. You need to have acts of faith. You need to have gratitude, okay? We can heal without the external, okay? You have to go, but you have to be willing to face yourself. I've never gotten any kind of medication for depression. I've had suicidal thoughts quite often throughout my life. I've had intrusive thoughts off and on. Sometimes they're overwhelming and sometimes I'm easily able to move past these things. But I've learned how to shift things in my life in order to move past these things and get out of them so much quicker than I used to be able to. I used to dwell in them and make more choices that impacted the problem by doing drugs, by hanging out with people I shouldn't be hanging out with, by feeding myself a bunch of junk food. And then I started realizing that I can heal internally by facing myself and stop distracting myself and stop putting external things that were just compacting the problem. Okay, so stop. What that means is stop self-sabotaging yourself. Stop making it worse by not healing, by not taking the time to heal. Okay. Become more present with yourself. Just find something, like I said, to look forward to. Go out into the world, start doing an active service, whether that's just picking up trash alongside the road. That's one of the things that I started doing. Whether it's helping one other person that's going through the same thing you're going to, but they also want to change, like just helping them, like you get up in the morning, right? And then you say, hey, you know, I got up this morning, like, how are you doing? Like, send them a text. If they want to change, help them with that. That will also help you if some sort of active service. Okay. Stop continually putting yourself into the victim mentality. Okay. And I know that this can be hard to hear. It kind of was for me, because you kind of, when you're in these states, you want people to be like, oh, it's okay. Like, it's okay that you're going through that. Here, do this or whatever. You just want the empathy, I guess. And if you can remove yourself from that victimhood and start taking really radical responsibility over where you are and why you are in the place that you're at, then you can start to shift from there. So remove the victimhood and be like, look, this is where I'm at. I understand that this is where I'm at, either from people that have hurt me or things that I've done or even losses, okay? And just breathe and know that that's where you are and start to take shifts of action, okay? There's one book in particular that I can, mention to you guys called Outwitting the Devil. It's called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. And it's such a good read, because what this book teaches you is to put it in perspective of a spiritual, let's just say a spiritual reality. And you have this devil that is constantly putting you down and into hell and giving you drugs to escape and doing all these things that are making the problem worse for you. So outwitting the devil is to learn how to shift away from that. Learn how to be like, I'm not going to live in this negative world. I'm not going to live in this intrusive thought world, this shame, this guilt, this problem, and looking at myself like I'm helpless. And instead, take initiative and action and get busy doing things that can help change things. Not only my life, but the life around me. And so if you can learn to take acts of service and self-healing techniques and start to make things happen in a different direction, you will heal. You may have these things come back in small bursts, right? But you'll learn how to move through them quicker, sorry. So yeah, and also realize that you're not alone. Realize that there's other people totally dealing with this. There's so many people, especially in today's world where we're these outside figures are throwing fear at us like crazy. Learn that's look at that as in, that's just someone trying to put a lot of fear into you. That's just someone trying to have control really over your mind. Okay. So that way they can give you a solution. So that way they can make lots of money. Okay. Realize these things. Realize that, you have to have faith in this world. You have to know that it's going to be okay. You're going to be able to heal if you take the time to look inward and face yourself and do acts of service and have gratitude and pray. Like it will be okay. It truly will. And that took a lot of time for me to figure out too. And I feel like there's days where, I have doubt and sadness and grief. And I occasionally remember past instances that maybe I haven't totally healed over. And that's okay. That's okay. And I just want you guys to know that you're not alone. There's people dealing with this. There's people dealing with this that look like they have beautiful lives, and they're still dealing with things that we're all dealing with. So you're not alone in that. Just don't compact the problem to make it worse. You can get out of this. You can heal. You can, become unaddicted to drugs. You can get out of bed. You can begin to enjoy things again. I feel like the biggest tool here is to create discipline in your life. Okay. Because if you don't have a plan, on a daily basis to help yourself move through life, if you don't go to work, or have an active service, or if you don't do something to feed your mind, body, and soul on a daily basis, then what will happen is you will continually put yourself in a bad spot in your life instead of moving through life on a good path. So yeah, I think that's really all that I have for you guys. If you are struggling with depression or anxiety or intrusive thoughts, please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to help you move through this. I do have a mental health certification. It is Christian based, but I'm not pressing Christian matters on anyone. I just really want to help you through these negative habits and these negative mental pressures and these emotions, and actually start to heal you. You can heal, and that's all I have. So reach out to me and I'd be more than happy to help you. Please comment below what you thought of this, if this did help you, if this maybe is going to help you through your path to healing. See you guys later.